All right, good morning. My contemplation this morning is on question that I often get most of the time online on how to find buyers. And I'll be spending maybe another 4-5 session talking about how to find buyers. So today in my contemplation this morning, I'm looking at instant global buyer step-by-step guide. Now, let me start by saying that the first thing you need to do is to decide on the product you want to export. And I'll be doing another video entirely on this. In the video, I'll do an entire video on this, and I'll be talking about how to determine the product, because you need to know. So if I want to export a particular product, what are the things I need to know about the product? Because you need to decide on the product you want to export. You need to decide on the product you want to export. Now, in deciding on the product you want to export, there's so many information that are required. But I won't spend time talking about that here. My focus here is just mentioning the fact that you must take that decision. What product do I want to export? So let's assume a product. We're in March, and there's a new season of commodity that just started. And I'll be using commodity for this. Maybe I'll do finish green in another video. Let's say we're doing raw cashew nut, which season often starts in February till April, May. Raw cashew nut. The first thing you need to do is to research the market. Now, there's so many tools available. Gone are the era where you are looking for information and you say you can't find it. A lot of information are available online for free, but some you have to pay for it. Some might require just registration to have your data as one of their subscriber, but not necessarily being paid, because some of them are funded by UN, international trade centers and the like. So research the market. Go online and research the market. Try to know this product I've decided I want to export. Who are those buying it? Where is the market? Now, let's say we are looking at cashew nut now. Two major countries buy cashew nut. Two major countries. And more than 50, 60, probably 70% of demand of raw cashew nut is from India and Vietnam. I think Vietnam is even doing a lot more than India. India and Vietnam. So you can now narrow down, out of those two countries, which of them are you looking at? And different bases can be the reason. It might be because you have a rep in that country, which I often advocate for. That might be the reason you want to choose a particular country. It might be that they have a favorable price or a favorable payment terms. But you need to decide which of these countries you are looking at. A number of other factors can come into play on this, which I can talk about in another video. My focus here is the step-by-step guide. So you research the market, identify the country, and then who are the typical buyer in that country. By that I mean, what do they buy? What quality do they buy? Why do they buy? When do they buy? Which option or specification do they buy? Who are those buying? Which kind of company? What do they buy? What kind of specification do they buy? Why do they buy? What do they use it for? When do they buy? At what time of the year do they buy? Which option do they buy? Which quality specification? You need to be able to identify, that's profiling a typical buyer who will buy cashew nut in India. Let's say we are looking at India. Profiling a typical buyer who will buy cashew nut in India. Now, having identified a typical buyer and what they want, these are the research you have to do. Then come up with a plan. And that plan will include, what do you hope to achieve? What volume of sales are you looking at? How much are you spending? What is your strategy, market entry strategy? What is your budget? Because your budget is going to guide the strategy you want to deploy and the marketing or promotional channel you want to use. Now that you have a plan, in planning you basically identifying, okay, so I want to do cashew nut. How much do I need to be able to export? Because you are not supposed to be prospecting for buyer when you don't have the money. If you are a broker and you are trying to sell the contract to another person, at least the person should be aware and the person should have the money. You shouldn't find the buyer and then nobody is ready to ship, or they can't even ship because of the amount involved. That's why you need to plan. You need this product I've chosen. If I'm exporting, how much will fill a container? Because if you are doing commodity, you can't do it in piecemeal. You know, some people want to do export and they say, I want to export, but I have 500,000, 1 million naira. Because of displacement of naira, that will not work. Let's say this cashew nut, for example. A ton can be as high as 1 million, 1.5 million. And you need about 17 ton in a container. If we assume a ton of 1 million naira, a container of 17 ton, that's 17 million. That means to do that shipment, you need about 25 million. Because you still have to do freight, particularly if you are doing CFR. So you need to do your plan. At the point of planning, you are going to decide. Based on your plan, is it something you want to do? Do you have the resources for the promotion? Do you have the resources to fill a container? Do you have what it takes to do this shipment? If you don't, there are other products you will do for less than 10 million naira. Maybe you should focus on that. And a number of them, most of the time, are finished goods. Commodity nowadays are the cost is very high. And the cost very high because exchange rate differentials. The exchange rate, you know, we used to be at 400, between 400 and 800, now we're at 1,005. And it's been stable at this. Kudos to CBN, by the way, because of the stability of naira. You know, so we've been stable at this for a while now, 1,500. And, you know, because of that high price, not because the cashew nut price has gone up significantly in terms of cost of production, but other exporters are willing to give more money to the farmer. So farmers also are increasing their price. LBAs are increasing their price, local buying agent, and of course, the cost eventually goes up. Now, having done your planning, then you now leverage on online marketplace. There are different online marketplace. Alibaba.com, globalbuyeronline.com, tradekey.com, global buyer, global trade plaza, different online B2B platform. Now, the beauty of B2B platform is that you are going to find someone who is looking for what you are selling. You won't be you can make cold call also. You can buy data and make cold call. Now, the challenge of cold call is that you will need to call many people. So meaning you have to also buy data. You know, it's either you are pulling the sale already, leads already existing, or you are pushing for sale deal to be able to get one. Now, when you are pulling, what happens when you are pulling is this. Someone already indicated interest, and that happened on B2B platform. Now, the only challenge is that you have to register on those platforms, and averagely about $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, some can even be up to $5,000 to register on each or any of those platforms. And if you register on those platforms, what happens on those platforms is that you will be able to get buyers. Some will even give you an account manager. But if you can spend less and buy data or promote yourself on social media platform. If you spend less and buy data of importer, maybe that 500K, 1 million, you can buy data and then reach out to them. But in reaching out to them, it's good you get someone in that country to do the calling. If you don't get someone in that country to do the calling, the challenge of that is they might not want to deal with you. Why? Just because you're black, or just because you're from Nigeria, because of some of the reputation we have built. I will be spending, like I said, probably about 5-6 sessions talking about this issue. And at some point, I'll focus on protocol you should follow before you even look for buyer. Protocol you follow while you are trying to get buyer. What are the things you need to do while you're trying to get buyer? I'm going to talk about that in another video. But today, I'm just looking at the step-by-step guide. Now, by the time you do this online marketplace, If you don't have a representative, you have to insist on a payment method that protects you in the export market. Either you're asking for a letter of credit or a payment guarantee or a standby letter of credit to protect yourself in the export market. Now, apart from B2B marketplace, you can attend trade shows. There's one by, I think, Nigeria Bureau of Commerce opening in April. Another one in France holding in May. A different trade show you can attend. You can join bilateral chamber of commerce to be able to know when these trade shows are happening. And I've also mentioned the fact that you can decide to promote on social media platform. Promote what you're trying to sell on social media platform, where you'll be able to get contact of people that showed interest, and then you can reach out to them. But what I would recommend you should not joke with is engaging a representative in the export market. The truth is, so let's say you get a buyer now and you ship to him and it's not buying again. Does that mean you will now fold your hand, you won't do business again? You are not going to trade again? When you have a rep at destination, he's supposed to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buyers at any point in time who want to buy. Now, when you have that kind of arrangement, 2, 3, 4 buyer at any point in time who wants to buy, then it becomes a lot easier. That if buyer A is not buying now, because you just did a shipment, buyer B will buy, buyer C will buy, buyer D will buy. So that means you can be shipping every month or every other month, depending on your financial capacity and the payment arrangement you have with your cash flow and working capital, to be able to continue shipping. And when there are issues in the export market, it's also easy to resolve. Because your rep represents you, you can, if they need to clean, maybe that will incur some cost. Whatever it is, packaging issue. I've had packaging issue for finished goods in destination, and we've been able to fix it. Labeling issue, not packaging, labeling issue, I'll be able to fix it because there is a representative in the export market. This is the power of international trade. The benefit, the opportunity of international trade, particularly having a representative in the export market. And there are platforms you can go to get representative. You can go to Upwork, you can go to Freelancer, a number of other sites where people can post what they can do for you in the country, and then you can hire them. And some of them is such that until they deliver, you won't pay them because the money will be held in your card on the platform. But more important, let me say this. Very important, very, very important. If you have the option of a friend or relative abroad, that's a better option. We have a training program for friend and relative abroad. For our people in our export mentoring class, when they get their rep and they need to train them, we have what we call engaging overseas representative for export market access and effectively selling in the export market. We give them those material. The idea is for them to be able to learn how to engage a rep, but more importantly also for the rep to be able to learn how to sell in the export market. For the rep to learn how to sell in the export market. I'll continue this in another conversation tomorrow. Like I said, this will be maybe by 5, 6, 7, probably up to 10 episodes, but just spending a lot of time talking about issue around this buyer thing. So today what I was talking about is just a step-by-step guide on how to find buyer. But I'm not done yet. I'll continue another video. See you in the next video, and bye for now.